Let's talk about Superman, who debuted his trailer this morning, which I knew was going to happen. But here's the thing: so I woke up around 10 o'clock this morning. I was tired because when I worked the drag race thing last night, I realized like by 10:30, my emotional battery my social battery had already kind of like it was on 32%. Might be less than that. So I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like we was doing we were doing our last rounds, and I was chit chatting with people and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like it was getting late anyway, and I didn't want to be the last one up in the club when the light come on. So um left around 10:30, and then when I stayed up a little bit, checked out some things, and then when I woke up this morning, I kind of avoided watching the trailer because I was like, I don't know if I think I was feeling nervous, not nervous, anxious, because as much as I believe in James Gunn, and I've been saying from the beginning, like I totally trusted James Gunn and his vision, and he knows what he's doing because he is a screenwriter, he is a filmmaker, he is a creative first before anything else. Like he is someone who truly loves films, superhero films, and especially he's someone who is great at turning the underdog and making them into this person that we root for in the end. And also, which I think is a metaphor for the homosexuals, because what we are good at is that when we're abandoned by our family, what we do is we create our family. And so he's been good at that. He did a great job with that with the Guardians of the Galaxy, how he would take something and like these unlikely of heroes and make them like these really cool heroes and give them this sense of family dynamic. Same thing with Superman. It's like when they find Clark and all this other stuff, and I'm hoping that we're not going to get a backstory on that. I don't think he's going to give us an origin story of that. We already know his story, and I do love the idea that based off the trailer, we get to see that there are already metahumans that exist, and Superman is kind of like in this world with metahumans. So I like that, where it's like everything will have to be like, well, it's just Superman, and then we got to wait a couple of sequels in order to get that. I just love that we have the metahumans within there. I also love the fact that there was less dialogue, except for when Clark tells Crypto, take me home, which I absolutely love. And I have to tell you, I literally watched the trailer 4 times. And I watched some reaction videos from some people that I love. Shout out to the Real Rejects. Shout out to who else? Christian Harloff. So I watched all the usuals. And I have to tell you, I teared up every time I watched that trailer. Like I got in my feelings because James Gunn, in my opinion, did a phenomenal job on tucking on the heartstrings and setting the tone of what we should expect. Because I know some people were just like, well, I think he's gonna go too funny with it because we already know like James Gunn has an affinity for getting a little too going a bit overboard with the humor when it comes to certain films that he does. But I don't think that when it comes to Superman, he would do that. He understands how to really make that whole world work. I also love the idea of how grandiose Metropolis looked and the colors. It was just so bright and vibrant and just a different contrast to what we got from Zack Snyder's universe or the Snyderverse. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Batman and I love I love Batman versus Superman. I love Man of Steel. I love that whole situation. The only thing that I have to say that's with the Snyderverse versus James Gunn's upcoming DCU or just this Superman in general, I just feel like Henry Cavill's Superman was just a character that was just too serious. I need a little sense of humor. I needed to feel that sense of hope, that sense of, that if we fight so hard, we can achieve what we want. And I feel like that's what we got when we watched the trailer. And seeing David Cornsweet, I was like, that's definitely Superman. Rachel Brosnahan, the minute I saw her on screen, that's Lois. Like you could literally look at somebody's. I'm like, the casting in this film was just perfect. It was chef's kiss. Like I'm looking at these people, and I already knew. Like I didn't even have to look at Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I just knew. I was like, that's Lex Luthor. First of all, I knew that was Lex Luthor long before he even got the part because I was like, he looks like a Lex Luthor, and he definitely, even though we didn't get much of anything from it, you can definitely feel the presence. Now Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, you know how I felt about his look. He was, I don't necessarily know how I feel about his look. I just wasn't feeling it. Um, it was giving me Uncle Fester from the Adams Family Values with the blonde bowl cut. Y'all remember when Deb put him in that Debbie or Deb, whatever you want to call it, put him in that horrible outfit where he had the suit and the blonde bowl haircut? That's what he was giving me in that. But I'm like, I don't know much about that version of the Green Lantern, but I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that character. Also, some of the other people that I was excited to see, I was excited to see a little bit of Hawk Girl, and I was also I'm excited to see Mr. Terrific. I think there was one sequence in the football field that we see Mr. Terrific fight Superman, and then when I also love the fact that when it opens, you hear, you see and you hear, like it's Superman hits the snow, he's sitting there wheezing, and it's like, what the hell happened to him? He's got blood coming out because I use that as the picture for the show. And I'm sitting there looking at him and it's like, what happened? Who did that to him that he was able to beat him up to the point where it's like he's wheezing and he needs, Crypto, who he whistled for. And child, when I tell you, I felt immediately in love with Crypto because Crypto reminds me so much of my dog Prince. They're probably the same breed. White, small, pain in the ass, don't listen. They're always excited. But they'll go hard. They're the most loyal and they'll go hard for you in a second. So I really feel like I'm probably going to resonate with Crypto. And I feel like Crypto already has upstaged David Corn Sweat in the film. I liked how he looked as Clark Kent and Superman. I thought like it literally looked like two different actors up there playing that part. So a lot of people I know are having their trepidation of him, and he looks pretty huge. Like when I'm looking at him during that scene when he's clumsily like walking through, bumping into people into the crowd as he's going into the Daily Planet, and they kind of do that shot of like an upward shot. And I'm looking at him like he looks huge, even like just as small as he tries to make himself as Clark Kent. He looked like such a big guy that I was just like, and then all the the big curls and stuff they had him his hair. Some people said that was a wig. I don't know. I don't think that was a wig, where they were trying to differentiate. But I'm like, I like his hair to me. I don't know. I got to look up close to see if there might be a little lacy situation because sometimes you could tell when these people be wearing wigs. They don't be doing good jobs when they be putting these hair on these people to make it look like real human hair. Sometimes it do be looking like Ken hair, like Barbie doll hair or something or another. And there was some things in the episode that I was like I wasn't really familiar with. Like I wasn't really familiar with what was it? Oh, I like seeing the Fortress of Solitude too, like that little brief shot. But there's this servant droid that you see Clark pretty much grieving over. I didn't know much about Kellex, but they said that he's a robot that is a servant droid from Krypton who becomes a caretaker at the Fortress of Solitude, and how if Kellex is destroyed, it would basically be one of the last connections that Kal-El has to Krypton. So, and then I was wondering who was that big old monster that he was fighting in in the scene where it was what was it, Colorado, where they shot it, or Cleveland, Ohio, I think is where they shot it. So I was wondering what that big monster was. I'm not really familiar with what the big monster was. If some people know, definitely drop it down in the chat. We got quick shots of Jimmy Olsen and Steve Lombard and Cat Grant, so we didn't really get to see a lot of the other characters really quickly, which are like their reporters and some of the other. But I'm curious to see how Jimmy Olsen fares out in this movie, because they've always wasted him. I feel like I feel like they wasted him. Definitely wasted him in Man of Steel, where they killed him off in like the beginning of the damn movie. Then it was was that Batman versus Superman? I can't remember. All them shits look the same to me. And then it was I feel like they also wasted him in the Brandon Routh version. And then I want to know a little bit more about Stag Industries. Then they've got this other big bad that we saw a brief shot of, and that was Metamorpho, who is played by Anthony Carrigan. And then basically he could transform his body into various elements. So getting to see this character play out on the screen will be awesome. I also like seeing Pruitt Taylor Vince as Pa Kent. Because Pruitt Taylor Vince is one of those guys who is a character actor. You know his face, but nobody knows his name. So when you definitely see him, you'll definitely well, Jonathan Kent, but I always go Mom Paul Kent. So yeah. So basically, regarding this whole movie, yeah, so there's the shot there where I was just like, look, he's grieving over his robot of Krypton. The Guy Gardner look, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I like Nathan Fillion, but I'm not feeling his look. And then we got a little Crypto. So I'm pretty excited for this upcoming movie. So yeah, the movie had me in my feelings. I cried every time I watched it because I was like, oh my God, we're finally going to get a Superman that I'm going to actually be excited about. And I cannot wait to see this damn movie when it comes out. So like I said before, all y'all gonna eat crow when this movie come out, and y'all realize it's gonna be an excellent film. So the people are hating. I saw people online to my Henry Cavill. I saw Henry Cavill's name trending yesterday when about this whole situation. And it's like, look, can we just move on from Henry Cavill? He's already moved on. He's filming Voltron right now. He's about to do. I think he's got Warhammer. He's still supposed to be doing that. We also have what was the other movie he's supposed to be doing? Highlander. I don't know when they're going to start filming that. They said January, but I don't know. Maybe right after he's done with Voltron, he's going to go off and shoot Highlander with Chad Stahelski, who directed all the John Wick movies. So Henry Cavill is pretty busy. He ain't got time for no damn Superman. Let somebody else, young, new, unknown, come in. Let them tell a story, and then y'all will eat crow like y'all eat every time y'all come out here and say y'all hate a damn character. But then when you watch the movie, you feel dumb because you said it about Michael Keaton with Batman. You said it about Heath Ledger with the Joker. You've said it so many times with so many other actors that it's like, y'all don't clearly know what the hell y'all talk about. Like, I can understand if you want to shit on a movie that's bad, like say Craven the Hunter, based off of watching me, like, okay, this movie's terrible. But wait until the movie comes out and then come with your overall assessment. But like I said, based off this trailer and getting those emotional beats and really working hard and succeeding on the fact of the emotion and setting the tone. I'm excited for this movie when it comes out in July. So I asked all of you, what did you think of the Superman trailer? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was you expecting to see? Did it exceed your expectations? All of those things and much more. I want to hear from you all. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below.